A Netflix original film.
The Wi-Fi isn't working.
In the event of a global communications breakdown, do the following. Stay inside.
What just happened here is happening everywhere.
Avoid strangers.
We've all been deserted.
I don't trust them.
And most importantly, do not panic. Julia Roberts.
What happens next?
Mahershala Ali.
I knew something was coming.
Leave the World Behind. Rated R. In select theaters now and on Netflix December 8th.
Today on CityCast Chicago, somehow, some way, we are in the final month of the year. Yep, 2024 is right around the corner. But before we go and make our New Year's resolutions, we got a guide for Brave in Chicago in December. I'm here with executive producer Simone Alicea and producer Michelle Navarro to talk about what to look out for this month. It's Monday, December 4th. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is what Chicago's talking about. What's up, Simone?
Hey, how's it going?
I ain't out here complaining. Michelle, welcome back to the mic.
Thank you for having me.
Honestly, when we first came up with this idea for a conversation, I really thought it was going to have a lot to do with just how cold it is outside, right? We was going to be preparing for some snow, for some below freezing temperatures, but the forecast for December actually looked pretty good. I mean, even as I just went outside a few minutes ago, you know, the walk was very enjoyable. We're looking at highs in the mid 30s to lower 40s, even some 50-degree days. That's still a range there. Simone, you know, what's too cold for you?
So 40 is awful if you're not dressed appropriately, and I'm never dressed appropriately for 40 degrees. But too cold to like leave my apartment or like the thing that makes me go, I don't think I'm going to do that today. I think anything below 30, if it's got a 2 in front of it, that's where I start to be like, I'm going to think twice about what's happening tonight.
Now, last week around like 7 p.m. on Wednesday, I think it hit like 20 degrees and I was outside in a hoodie. If you just look at it, you would think it'd be better for the cold. But I was like, no. You need to go put an actual coat on. So I'm with you there. Something when we getting below 30. I mean, I love the layers, but it definitely it's time to put them on. What about you, Michelle? What's too cold for you? Is it even like a 50, 40 degree too bad for you?
Nah, to me, that's not bad at all. You know what, though? At the end of the day, it's all about the wind chill because it could be 40 degrees, but if there's no wind, I'm going to be chilling in like a hoodie and a windbreaker. Like, I'm going to be fine like that. I personally think cold is 35 and below.
Nah, and that wind chill is so important. Chicago love a good, it's 30, but it feels like negative 55.
Exactly.
Like type of forecast, because then I never know what I'm dressing for or what I'm going outside for. But regardless, if you got a windbreaker, if you got a hoodie, if you got a full coat on, it really is a good time to get outside in Chicago. You know, like we said last week, to see all the fancy cabbages that are planted around. Simone, what's one way you're looking to get outside in December?
I think that makes this maybe an even better time to take advantage of like seeing the various light shows around Chicago, the holiday lights. Like every year when Zoo Lights comes around at the Lincoln Park Zoo, I'm always like, but do I really want to be outside right now? Like, is this really going to be fun for me? But like, yeah, if it's like 40 degrees, like, yeah, sure. I'll do a little tour around the zoo and see the lights. And like, I think that'll be really cute and fun. And, you know, same at I feel like I say this, Jacoby, like, I have said this in so many episodes. Maybe this will be the reason I get out to the Morton Arboretum is to see the lights.
That's on my list too. I mean, I was really going to say the exact same thing. This is encouraging me more. And last year I did one big light show, the Zoo Lights, which was It honestly was very beautiful. And as somebody who never really been into holiday lights, it got me excited a little bit for this season where, you know, we wrote down a few over here. We was like, we want to go to this one, and seeing 30, 40, 50 degrees on the calendar makes me feel better about that choice. But regardless, but that also means you probably should get your reservation early because we're not the only ones who are seeing this.
Yeah, everybody else is having the same thought. Yeah.
I like to see lights, but I don't know. It's kind of like, for me, it's like fireworks. Like, I saw Zoo Lights, I think, back in 2015, and I don't think I need to go back anytime soon. I don't know, though. Maybe I'll, like, if it is a warm enough December evening, my friends hit me up,
No, you in you passive phase of your 20s. I hear you. It's all good.
I don't know though. I do though. I'm a Chicago trooper. Like I'll walk outside and I'll walk around, then I'll still take the train. Like even if it's like 30 degrees, 20 degrees, like dress appropriately. Like I'll be outside. I still love taking my night walk. So
I was gonna say, if you're not out for the lights, what are you going outside for in Chicago? Like what's the thing you're looking forward to?
I'm definitely looking forward to museums. I just feel like they give the cozy vibe. You still have to travel to them. I don't have a driver's license, so I will be taking the CTA. And so just getting around that way, like to and from places is kind of where I enjoy the outside in Chicago.
Speaking of the CTA and in the cold, what do you think is like proper etiquette for the CTA heat lamps, for the train heat lamps? Like how many people realistically are fitting in those spaces?
That's a good question. I'm not gonna go into a group, but if it's free or one person is in there, I'll jump in there. But if like 4 or 5 people are there, I'll just kind of stay off to the side and sort of chatter my teeth a little bit, to be honest. I don't want anybody to feel cold and crowded.
Are you social distancing in the heat lamp, basically? Michelle, what do you think?
This is interesting now, like post-pandemic, because you just brought up social distancing and I'm like, yeah, right? Like, are people going to think it's like I'm all up in their grill? But I truly believe like 2 rows of people fit in there.
So like maybe up to 8 people potentially?
Yeah, I think 8 people, if they're comfortable being in there, I feel like a good 8 people. I think we deserve to share the lamps a little bit, especially with all these trains that are ghosting us. Like, I don't think it's not right. I'm also kind of like, if I see on the screen that my train's not going to come in 20 minutes, I will stay downstairs
for sure,
by like past the turnstiles, but like before the escalators. Like I'll just chill there until there's a couple minutes left.
As always, there's no shortage of things to do this month in Chicago. When you're thinking about the gifts you're going to buy or the deals you're going to take advantage of, it's easy to maybe sort of kind of get too big for your britches here. So you want to kind of be strategic so you don't break the bank all month, right? So Simone, what's your best tip for either having fun on the cheap this month or sort of getting those deals in and getting your gifts for your family and friends?
Number one, I will just always say giving experiences as gifts, always a great thing, or spending quality time with folks, right, can be the gift in and of itself. So here's what I'm thinking of. Here's kind of what, like, some things I'm literally planning right now. Ice skating. I'm not good at it. I'm very bad at ice skating, but I love to do it. And the ice skating in the parks is now open. And that's not just at Millennium Park or the Maggie Daley ribbon, but also a few other parks around Chicago as well. So the real trick there is, I'll be honest, skip the skating ribbon. It costs more. You have to pay more to get on there in addition to skate rental. It is, from what I have heard, people go very fast. It's very intense. So if you're not that good of a skater, it's definitely, you want to skip that anyway. And then, the other thing about skipping Millennium Park is like probably these other parks won't be as crowded. So the McKinley Ice Rink or at Midway Plaisance, at Mount Greenwood, also up in Warren Park as well on the north side. Few different parks. You can check the Park District website. But I think it's just such like a cute winter activity that, you're talking like $7 skate rental. That would be my strategy, I think, for like winter fun.
One of the things I'm excited for, speaking particularly around like gift giving, because I've gotten pretty consistent in my gift giving over the last few years. And a lot of it has to do with my location. I like to give books. Mm-hmm. And like, that's a wide range. And so in my neighborhood, that's everything from First Aid Comics, which sells comic books. But I mean, if you know anything about a good comic book store, you can find figurines, you can find posters, you can find manga, you can find graphic novels. And so you got a full range there. I also have 57th Street Books, Powell's Books, Seminary Co-op. But I also like to buy books at the Silver Room in my neighborhood. In a few block radius, I'm able to get gifts for little kids. I'm able to buy books for my partner, buy books for my siblings and my friends. But also, if you want to be fancy, like the Silver Room consistently has great coffee table books. And so whether you want a big Rihanna lookbook, if you want a Muhammad Ali lookbook, if you want one that's about sneakers, you want one that's about photographs in New York City from 1960 to the 80s, right? You can get one of those bigger, slightly more expensive coffee table books. And so as someone who owns probably 20 coffee table books from the Silver Room and then 200 other books from various locations in my neighborhood and others, that's one of the deals I would suggest people to look into in their neighborhood. Find a local bookstore, local comic book store. And you'd be surprised how many different people you can get gifts from in just those few places.
Like, I am definitely a big, like, knick-knack person. And so I try to find things that, like, I feel like my friends or my family would like but not get themselves. And so I love checking out gift shops. So a place that I frequent, the National Mexican Museum of Art, their gift shop, I am a huge fan. And I just feel like and because gift shops are so versatile, so like there's always going to be like little things for kids, but then there's going to be more like tasteful things like books or pieces of art for people. I'm also a really big thrifter. And so if I find like a nice dish set or like again, like cute knickknacks, like just like weird things that I think people would enjoy to have in their home, candle holders, plates, Christmas decorations. My mom loves Christmas decorations, so any chance I can find them at like a thrift or a vintage, like just like secondhand shop, like I'll definitely do that.
I would say the home goods at Brown Elephant, one of my favorites. Also like furniture there as well.
Yeah, we've got a great place, two places right next to each other in Harper Court in Hyde Park. One is Recycled Modern that has everything from like really nice home furniture to these little bracelets, little, things that can sit on your desk, ornaments. And then next door is Surrey Design, which is a local jewelry store ran by a mother and daughter who actually have my last name. Every time I go in there, they're like, are we related? But they also sell homemade soaps, homemade candles, homemade lotions and things like that. And so those little gift shops in your neighborhood can be a real sneaky steal.
There are so many good ones too. It's unreal.
There's one in particular. Chinatown has so many like shops that have kind of popped up, I think in the last couple years, where they sell like a bunch of stuffed animals and like really just like fun, like action figures, like things to have. AJ Houseware and Gifts. It's located in the Chinatown Square Plaza. It just has so many different kinds of figures and like knickknacks and like book bags and just like fun, cute stuff. Things for the home. I love Sanrio.
Like Hello Kitty and stuff like that.
Yeah, like My Melody. Like, so they have a bunch of things like that as well that I really love. Yeah, you can find everything in that store and it's fairly priced, which I love. And so that's the kind of place where I usually find things for everyone.
So obviously we talked about the things we're excited to do outside, some places we're going to go to get gifts for ourselves and for others. But obviously, as the holidays approach, many services we use every day will be adjusting their hours or closing altogether because holiday season don't mean we don't stop acting like a city, right? So Simone has whipped up, as she is wont to do, a little quiz. We're going to test our knowledge on the different public services in Chicago. Their hours, are they open? Are they closed?
Yeah, and so here's kind of what's going to happen. It's very little quiz. I'm going to go through 3 different categories, and there's sort of going to be like 2 rounds in every category. So basically, I will give you the institution, and then on the count of 3, both of you are going to say whether you think it's open or closed on the holiday, whether that's Christmas or New Year's. And then I will open it up, and you will tell me which specific days you think they're open or closed.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to start with Chicago Public Libraries. Key service. We just did an episode recently, all the things that you could do with your Chicago Public Library card. I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, and then you guys will at the same time tell me open or closed. 3, 2, 1.
Closed.
Open.
They are closed for the holidays. Michelle, can you tell me which days specifically they're closed?
I would say Christmas Day and New Year's Day.
That is correct, but the libraries are also closed on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, which are both Sundays. That said, it's worth noting that, for example, if we mentioned that the weather's looking pretty good, but if for some reason we were to get into some extreme cold, the city could say, hey, actually, we're keeping these open to shelter people when it's like really, really cold outside. Same thing goes for like field houses and things like that if there were extreme cold to come. But yeah, they are closed Christmas Eve, which is a Sunday, Christmas Day, which is a Monday, and then New Year's Eve and New Year's Day as well. So this next category is something folks may have in their mind. They may have some licensing or other things they need to take care of before the end of the year. The DMV / our Secretary of State offices, are they open or closed? 3, 2, 1.
Closed.
Closed.
You are both correct, but can either of you tell me which days they are closed?
So I'm going to give the DMV Christmas. And I guess since Christmas is on a Monday, are people treating Friday, the Friday before is Christmas Eve? And so I'm going to say, is the DMV even open on Sunday? So I'm going to say that Friday before and New Year's Day, all closed.
That is correct. That's exactly right. You really sussed that out with the days of the week.
Ding, ding,
Ding, ding,
Great
ding.
logic.
Because I was thinking about hours and I was like, oh, we're taking Christmas Eve, that Friday.
Yes.
Because Sunday. Oh, I wonder if anybody else is doing that. So I was just thinking about my own time and just gave it to the DMV.
Next category, we're asking about city offices and city hall. So if you, again, this is like business licensing, if you had, trying to get your car stickers, all that kind of stuff that you might need to reach out, go to a city office for, are they closed or open? 3, 2, 1.
Open.
Closed.
They are closed, Jacoby. Which days specifically are they closed?
So for City Hall, I'm going to say they stay open that Friday, but they close Christmas, but not New Year's. So maybe they're open New Year's and Christmas Eve.
No. So they are closed Monday, Christmas Day, and they are closed Monday, New Year's Day.
New Year's Day. Okay.
But
they are open that Friday?
Open that Friday, the 22nd. But it's worth noting that you can still call 311. 311 is available 365 days a year. 24/7. And so if you have issues with, potholes, rats, noise, etc., you can still call 311.
I appreciate both of y'all for being here to learn how you plan on spending your December outdoors. Some of the places we should all stop by to pick up some gifts for our friends, family, and even for ourselves, and some of the city services and other public buildings that will either be opened or closed. I think this was a solid guide to December. Shout out again to executive producer Simone Alicea.
Thanks, eh?
And producer Michelle Navarro.
Thank you.
If you've got any tips or tricks for Brave in December, you already know where to find us. 773-780-0246. Leave your name, your neighborhood, and your guide to December. These are just some of the things to enjoy in Chicago this December. But to get all the best events directly in your inbox every day, make sure you subscribe to our newsletter, Hey Chicago. You can sign up at chicago.citycast.fm. Now, you know I got some good news for you. Tomorrow night, you can check out First Tuesdays, a monthly political talk show live at Nighthawk in Albany Park with our friend from Injustice Watch, Maya Dukmasova, and the readers Ben Jarofsky. They've been doing this show for 10 years, and they say this will probably be the very last First Tuesday ever, so you don't want to miss it. As always, we appreciate you for reading and listening. We're going to be back bright and early tomorrow morning, or, of course, whenever you listening to the podcast, whether it's 1 time speed, 2 time speed, in the morning, afternoon, and night. Whenever you listen, however you listen, we appreciate you. Talk to you soon. Peace. We will talk to you tomorrow. Obviously, I got to do some other stuff, so I don't need to say peace. Bye-bye.
I think that's an episode.